Hear me? I know you're gonna dig this.
They're going to second for one, and now they got the man trapped at third and tagging out. And second and two, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, lot more room, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting, we have G. From Austin, Texas, Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland, and finally, the
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Hey, you already looking. Ooh, this has been a long night tonight, man. I tell you right now. Okay, welcome to In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. This is Keith Dix, your host. This has been a long night tonight, man. I tell you. Okay, welcome to In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. This is Keith Dix, your host. This has been a long night tonight. Okay, welcome to In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. This is Keith Dix, your host. This has been a long night tonight. Okay, welcome to In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. The problem is. Okay, let me get back to this. Let's try this. Try this intro again.
I know you're gonna dig this.
They'll go to second for one, and now they got the man trapped at third and tagging out. And second and two, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, lot more room, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting, we have G-Dub from Austin, Texas, Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland, and finally, they used to call him Pretty Ricky, but now they call him Coach Ricky from Charleston, South Carolina. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
Hear me? I know you're gonna dig this. You're gonna dig this.
All right, yeah. Somebody deleted out my in my intro. I gotta go find it again. I'm glad I know I got it on the computer. But anyway, good evening, everybody. Is Just a Sports Talk Show. I'm gonna be here by myself tonight. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on for the 2 hours, but I'm gonna try to push it out. If we get some callers, that's fine. If we get some call-ins, that's fine. If you get somebody on the YouTube or on the Facebook page, that's also fine. I welcome anyone that wants to be entertained tonight to talk some sports with me tonight because I pretty much got a lot to say. Um, and I ain't happy about it. Them Dodgers then really irked my nerves this year again. Again, ladies and gentlemen, they bow out again. We're gonna talk more about that as well. Anyway, but before we go on, there's some stuff I gotta announce. So, close friend of mine, Patricia Gale, lost her brother Patrick Gale this past week, and we want to give them a shout out, prayer shout out. So make sure you know Patricia's not on social media, so if you close friends with Patricia and you didn't know, send her a text or give her a phone call or something like that. Let her know that we're caring about her and her family. Um, her brother actually lives in Jamaica, so it's gonna be tough for the family here in Harrisburg. I mean, well, they live in Maryland now, but they grew up in Harrisburg. We all went to school together, so we want to give a shout out to her and her family. Let them know that we're still keeping them in our prayers. Mr. Charles Cobb, close friend of the family's funeral was today. Um, Beautiful service, homegoing service for him today. Um, and he was a devil dog. And his casket was black with red, and then it had the Marine Corps emblem inside of the casket. He was dressed up in his dress blues. He was definitely a Marine. Um, Wishing his family nothing but the best, keeping them in prayer as well. My cousin Sean Hill lost his cousin Vaughn, my cousin Vaughn as well too, this week. So keep Sean in prayer. Sean has been hit with a few deaths lately in their family. So please, 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 if you know him, reach out to him, send him inbox him, text him, or just ask him how he's doing and things of that nature. Dana Clark, brother, is in the hospital today. Dana just keeps getting hit with all kind of things going on. I'm gonna say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. Everything happens for a reason. We may not understand it, but it's not meant for us to understand sometimes. But when you see a lot of your loved ones leaving here, that should be letting you know something. So if you ain't right with the person that you believe is a higher being, you're not right with them, I'm gonna say get right with them because it could be coming soon. It definitely could be coming soon. So we want to keep Dana's brother Kenny in prayer. On some happier note, today is my sister's birthday, Margaret McCrae. My sister is such a funny person, man. I'm telling you. Every time I call her, something wrong with her number. And then she'll call me from the same number. It's like, ain't nothing wrong with my number. You can call me from here. I'm like, sis, no, I can't. Try to reach you today, sis. I couldn't reach you. But happy birthday anyway. If you know who Margaret is, give her a shout out. She is definitely my shero. I'm not gonna go into no personal stuff with you, but I tell you, my sister's been through some things in her life, and she's still standing strong. And again, she is my shero. I tell you that right now, bottom line. All right, so got that out the way. So I want to talk about this baseball. The Dodgers, the Braves, the Orioles, these teams had the best records in the division by, well, not the Orioles by a landslide, but the Braves and the Dodgers basically had their division by landslide, by double-digit wins over the teams that they just lost to. And I'm just trying to figure this one out because it doesn't really it doesn't make any sense to me at all. And I really don't like this playoff, what you want to call playoff scenario that Mansfield had came up with. I don't know who said that was okay. It was cool. It's not. Because I want somebody to explain to me, you winning your division other than getting some rest, what else do you get? What is the incentive to win the division other than getting some rest? Some people say, well, you get a chance to fix your rotation, your pitching rotation. Okay, but you still got rest. So your pitching rotation, you may have your best 3 out of 5. You may have, because it's best 3 out of 5. Okay, that second round. So you might have your best 3 pitchers ready to pitch. But if it's not in their ordinary rotation to pitch, it's still an off day. Now you're gonna say they're pros, they should be prepared, they should get ready for this. It's not that simple when it comes to baseball, ladies and gentlemen. The more repetition you do in baseball on a daily basis, the better you come. You look at your schedule, and you got 5 games and 6 nights, so you prepare your lineup for that. And you can look at it and say, okay, pitcher A, he's gonna pitch every 5 days. Okay, we cool with that. And that's go through the season unless somebody gets hurt and the rotation changes around. And now it comes down to the manager being the manager that he's supposed to be. Okay, so it has a lot to do with managing your team. Has a lot to do with how healthy your team is, and it has to do a lot about the pitchers that you have on your team. Now, 2 years in a row, the Dodgers have been knocked out of the playoffs in the second round. 2 years in a row, the Atlanta Braves have been knocked out of the playoffs in the second round. And the wild card team, I don't think Houston was a wild card team last year. I think Houston won the division. But in the National League, there's going to be another wild card team that represents the National League in the World Series. Now, I'm going to say this. What does my boy, my favorite baseball player of the Dodgers, Dusty Baker, what does he know that nobody else knows? Because the Astros didn't win the division this year, but they're playing in the ALCS. So what do he know that the Dodgers, the Braves, and the Orioles managers don't know? That's the only thing I need to know. If I'm there, I'm calling Dusty like, Dusty, how can you do it? How do you make this thing? How do you make this thing work for you? How is it that you can do a wild card and you can win a division and you can go to a World Series, but the Braves and the Dodgers, who have the best record, and the Orioles that had the best 3 records in in Major League Baseball, not advance to the next round? I'm really trying to understand this thing. But again, I need somebody to tell me, other than getting rest, what's the advantage? What is the advantage of getting rest and you win your division? It got to be something more. Now, I'm telling you, the fans is pissed because this is the second year that we've seen a wild card team represent the National League. I'm not taking nothing away from the Phillies because they are playing great baseball right now. I'm not taking nothing away from the Diamondbacks. They're playing great baseball right now. My personal opinion about my team, the Dodgers, I need them to fire Dusty. I need them to fire Dave Roberts. He's been there long enough. You got 1 World Series. Yes, you lost 2 World Series, but we know there was some cheating behind those World Series. So I'm not really upset with you about those World Series at all. I'm not really upset with you. We won the World Series when the season was shortened because of COVID. Okay. It's a title, but it ain't really a title because I'm gonna say this. I don't give the Lakers any credit for winning in the bubble for that short season. So the same thing holds for the Dodgers. Even though they won the World Series, it still don't hold the water or the authentication that it would be if they had a real season, a full season, I would say. So those are the things that I really have a problem with. But I just think there's time for the Dodgers to move on. They got rid of a lot of heavy heavy paid players this year. And actually, they wasn't even supposed to be making the playoffs. It's supposed to have been the Diamondbacks and the Padres year to make a move, and to be the ones that's going to showcase in the West. As we saw, Diamondbacks came through, and the Padres fell apart. There's something going on with the Padres. Ain't nobody saying nothing, but I guess it'll come out in the war sooner or later. Somebody gonna spill the beans on what's going on with the Padres, because the Padres too good not to be 2 games above 500. You know what I'm saying? 82 and 80. That's what I think the record ended up being. So there's some issue going on there. But again, this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I'm going to read to you guys about Major League Baseball. It says MLB fans vexed with Ron Manfred defending current playoff structure. Obviously, something very wrong with the new format. Okay. And I've been saying this before this even article came out. I've been saying this since day one they had it. I didn't like it. And I'm going to keep on saying it because I don't like it. Because again, somebody needs to say to me, or somebody need to tell me, what is the advantage of winning your division? And the only thing you get to do is rest your players for a couple of days before you have to play again. Because in my personal opinion, there's nothing to, then don't win the division. Is there extra money in winning the division? Do the Major League give you an extra $2, $3, $4 million to win the division? I could say if that's the case, yeah, okay, then win the division. You know what I'm saying? But I still can't see where it benefits the teams, the top 3 teams in the Major League that's not playing right now, how it benefits them to win the division. Go ahead and let somebody else win the division. You get the wild card, and then you get to keep playing on a regular basis like you've been playing all season long. So when you go into the next series, your bat's still hot. Your pitchers are still in your rotation like they're supposed to be, and your opportunities of winning are greater. As simple as that. I mean, the Braves were almost 16 games better than the Phillies. The Dodgers were like 15 games better than the Diamondbacks, and they lost to both those teams. So something ain't right here. I don't agree with it at all, because you play to win the game, and if you win your division, there should be a benefit for it. And I'm still wanting to know. I want somebody to tell me what is the benefit other than having a couple of days off. So this is what they're saying here. The 2003 Major League postseason has been littered with upsets so far. 5 teams with the best record in baseball are all out before the championship series. It has been a strange year for favorites. The Houston Astros, the only team left in the playoffs that received a first-round bye. This has led to several baseball fans questioning the league's format. The first-round bye teams will provide with a lengthy break to start the postseason, something which seems to have worked against them. Last night, the Atlanta Braves, the team with the best regular season record, was knocked out by the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies finished the season with 14 fewer wins than the Braves. On Wednesday, the Los Angeles Dodgers were stunned by the Arizona Diamondbacks, who swept the Southern California rivals. Baltimore, 101 wins, Tampa, 99, and the Milwaukee Brewers, 92 wins. All have been eliminated from the final 4 rounds. Major League fans took to social media to debate the playoff structure and whether it's best for the format. With many other top teams exiting early this year, fans are frustrated with the playoff format. In recent pieces of CBS News, MLB Commissioner Robert Manfred stood for the controversial structure. It's only a year or two. I'm sure in sort of views, you need to give something a chance to work out. The 3-game World Series, the 3-game wild card series, followed by a 5-game division series, has definitely created excitement in the game. It's been interesting to see whether the Major League sticks with the current layout in coming years. The Houston Astros seem to be the exception of the rule. Astros received buys in 22 season and 23 season and seem to have it to their advantage. Dusty Baker, my man, side revived by winning its division with 90 games. Despite the long break, the Astros looked into control against a talented Minnesota Twins team. They won the series 3-1 and progressed and faces the Texas Rangers. So, again, what do Dusty Baker know that nobody else knows? Because if he can turn it up, Why can't managers for the other teams turn it up? Like I said, being a Dodger fan, what's going on here? Why is it that you can win the series during the seasons against the Padres and the Diamondbacks, but then when it comes to a 3-game series, you can't win? Is that series not long enough for you? Because before, what I was told was you want to have your pitching ready for a 7-game series. Like say, for example, the pitcher for day 1 has the possibility to pitch in game 5 if need be, or game 4 if necessary. Okay, because that's just how it is. But in a 3-game series, your ace is not going to be pitching in game 1 to turn around pitching game 3 unless he's going to close out the game. And that game 3 is if the series is tied 1 apiece, in that game 3, or I'm saying 2-1 is game 3, then you may want to throw your ace out there and maybe to close it out or something of that nature. But I'm glad there are fans out there that feel the same way I feel. And looking at the article, you got 17 that like it, you got 47 that don't, and you got 30 that's questioning this format. And the thing about it is, even if the Dodgers were in the wild card and they were moving on, I would still have the same concern. Because again, Manfred, can you please tell me what's the purpose of winning the division other than getting time off? Because in this article I just read, it's telling us one thing, that getting that time off does not help the teams with the best record. It hurts them. But again, why is the Houston Astros not the norm? Why is the Houston Astros the team that always goes through, regardless if they're wild card, if they win a division? Why are that team that makes it down the road? Is it Dusty Baker? Is it because Dusty Baker is the manager? Is Dusty Baker that good of a manager that he can tell his team, turn this thing on up a little bit, dial it back a little bit? You know what I'm saying? I would love to sit down and talk to Dusty and find out what's the straw that stirs the drink that gets them to the World Series more years than not. And so that's my only question though, is because am I frustrated with the Dodgers? No, not really, because I don't feel like the Dodgers team was that good this year going forward at the beginning. If you look at Vegas didn't even have them making the playoffs. They had Diamondbacks, or I think they had the Padres winning the division. Then the Diamondbacks would come in second. Dodgers wouldn't even be nowhere in the playoffs at all. Nowhere in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So what they did to me, they achieved more than what they're supposed to achieve. Because now, if I'm a free agent, I'm saying, do I want to go to the Dodgers? Do they have what they need? Is it, in the managerial position? Is he the person I want him to manage me as a baseball player? Am I that player that they need, that 1 or 2 player they need that can get them over the hump to get back to the World Series? Is a question I'm going to ask myself. Okay, and pitching. Do I want to go out to LA and be a pitcher? Is the atmosphere out there a good atmosphere to be around? I think for the most part, the players do get along out there, from what I can see. And I think the players do respect the manager, David Roberts. But I think David Roberts been there going almost 10 years, I think. And maybe it's just time for the Dodgers to move on. I know I have an article in here where I'm trying to find it if I can, where Magic Johnson talks about the Dodgers and what happened to them and things of that nature. So again, Dodgers, Braves, Orioles, Twins, Milwaukee, all division winners, and all of them are gone. Now, does that make better baseball? It should. And if you think about the teams that are left in, you have Houston and the Texans, you have Phillies and the Diamondbacks, And out of the 4 teams, Diamondbacks ain't that. It's not a lot of people I know that follow the Diamondbacks, but there's a lot of people that follow the Phillies because you have a lot of transit fans that move from Philadelphia to other places, so they're going to follow. And I guarantee you, when they go out to Arizona, you're going to see a lot of red and white out there because you probably got a lot of people from Pennsylvania that live in Philly, or people from Pennsylvania that moved to Arizona that are Philly fans. So you're going to see a lot of red and white out there with the towels and things of that nature. And the fans definitely follow the fans definitely follow Phillies. I think watching the game the other night, they had 2 fans on top of the archway watching with the picture. Somebody took a picture of it. They was up on the archway, which is unsafe watching the game. That you know what I'm saying, I ain't going out like that. I'm sorry. That's too high for me. Too high for me. I'm not doing that. But again, the issue is, are you gonna get Diamondbacks to follow? Is Diamondbacks a team that you're gonna want to watch? Texas, you got the Rangers and you got the Rangers and the Astros, which is gonna be a good one because that's Texas. That's inside. That's in the Lone Star State. So that should be a good series, right? We want to think it would be. We want to think it will be. So we're gonna see where this goes. I have to give the Phillies the edge over the Diamondback, because Phillies been here before. Diamondbacks just recently got here, and again, what happened was Diamondbacks replaced the Padres, who was there last year. Who replaced it? I forgot who replaced them the year before that. But the Houston and the Texas series is one I'm kind of looking forward to seeing. I think Philly's going to handle the Diamondbacks really good. I don't know what the series was during the season with them, but if you think about 2 teams that had was not even close to the division winners by double digits, like 16, 17 games, you got to say to yourself, are they really that good? You know what I'm saying? But apparently they are that good because they did advance to the next round. So then you got to question, are the Dodgers and the rest of them guys that won the division, are they really that good? Have teams just said, "Look, man, look, we're gonna lose to them today because it don't matter. It doesn't really matter." And we don't want to believe that's the case at all. But again, I question the playoff format. Other fans question the playoff format, and I'm glad they do because it's not making any sense to me. And again, I'm still waiting for someone on ESPN, FS1, somebody explain to me the significance of winning a division other than getting days off. What advantage does it have? What advantage do you have for that? I just need to know that because somebody need to say something to me. Somebody need to just come out and say, Kev, look, this is why they do what they do. And then we'll have a conversation. We will have a conversation about that. We will definitely have a conversation about that one. All right. So moving on to our next topic is the WNBA. And look like the Aces is about to knock this thing out the box again. New York Liberty is this is the first time I think making to the NBA Finals. I'm a Suns fan. Elisa Thomas is my girl. She's from this area, so I follow her wherever she goes. And she's been with the Connecticut Sun. And even if she leaves now, I can't leave the Connecticut Sun because that's where my heart is, right? But they got eliminated in the early part of the playoffs. So in WNBA, facing elimination, where did Liberty go from here? WNBA Finals. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think shucky ducky. San Francisco is where the Golden State Warriors play at right now. I think they're getting a WNBA team next coming up, and then I think there's going to be another team in 2025 coming up. I read that somewhere. So if you're a WNBA follower like I am, they're bringing in another team, and Don't now I'm saying this. Don't be surprised if Canada gets a girls WNBA basketball team, because they've had some games up there in Canada and they sold out well. You know what I'm saying? So don't be surprised if Canada comes in somewhere, Toronto or Montreal. And Montreal have been begging for American sports to come there again. Um, so we'll see how that happens going forward. But San Francisco, I think, is the place that the next WNBA team is going to be. But the Las Vegas Aces is going to should be crowned really soon, unless Liberty can come back and do something. I love the Liberty though. I love their name, New York Liberty. That's so fitting for them. So again, if you're a WNBA fan, check it out. And their next game will be, let me see if I can pull up the schedule here real quick. So they play Sunday at 3 p.m. sharp on ABC. That could be the end for the New York Liberty if they play then. So if you're a Liberty fan, good luck. Vegas fan, if you win one more game, congratulations. All right, WNBA. That's what I'm talking about, getting a new team in here. College football. So right now we're looking at Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, Ohio State's at 3, Florida State's at 1, Oklahoma's at 5, Penn State 6, Washington's at 7, Oregon's at 8, Texas at 9, USC is at 10, and Alabama's at 11. Now, Nick Saban said he's calmed down. He said, I'm not worried about anything. I'm sorry. Let me go back to baseball because I just found an article of what Magic Johnson brought up. Let me talk about this real quick. Magic Johnson brought the hard-hitting analyst about the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is what he said. This is what Magic said. Most people are stunned when the Los Angeles Dodgers were swept by the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NLDS, but Magic knew exactly where things went wrong on this team. Johnson, who was part of the Dodgers ownership group, took to X on Thursday with some of his patented hard-hitting analysts about the disappointment end of the team season. The NBA legend noted that the LA lost because they failed to perform well in 2 key areas, hitting and pitching. Wow, tell us something we didn't already know. And I'm just saying this because I didn't read the article yet. I printed the article off. I'm reading it. As I'm reading it, I'm reading it to you as I'm analyzing it as I'm reading it. So if I stop, it's because I haven't read this before until now. We're all disappointed the Dodgers did not hit or pitch well. That's why we lost the series to the Diamondbacks, Johnson wrote. Well said, Magic. The Dodgers were outscored 19-6 in the series against the Diamondbacks. They scored just 2 runs in each game. Johnson's assessment of the LA struggles was, to be quite frankly, stunning accurate. Between the summary the Dodgers play and what he tweeted recently about the Washington Commanders, a Magic analyst has truly reached new heights. The Dodgers won 100 games this season and were viewed by many as the favorite to win the World Series. The same was true after they won 111 regular season games a year ago, but they lost in the NLDS too. It will be interesting to see how they address the playoff failures this offseason. So I could have told you that. He didn't tell me nothing that none of us don't already know. Pitching and hitting is the issue. You give up 4 home runs back to back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? You are more likely going to lose the game. It's simple as that. But getting back to AP top 25 and coaches top 25, they got Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3, Florida State 4, Penn State 5, Washington 6, Oklahoma 7, Oregon 8, and USC 9, and Alabama 10. So, like I said, Nick Saban said, I'm relaxing. I didn't see that the other night when your offensive coordinator called a pass and it was an incomplete pass and they still had time on the clock, and that stopped the clock, so they could have got the ball back and maybe scored, and won the game or whatever the case would be. So I don't believe that he's relaxed. I think he just sees a hand on the wall that this team is not the greatest team he's ever had. and he got to do some coaching this year. They're ranked 11th in the AP poll. They could easily had 2 losses. And speaking of the Georgia Bulldogs, I'm gonna say this: they're good, but they're not great. And if the playoffs were to start right now, the top 4 teams, you got Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida. I think Michigan probably has the strongest possibility of beating Georgia if they played head to head. And again, I'm gonna say this to you guys, and this is what I would love to see the NCAA do. The teams that make it to the Final Four play each other the next year. Now I know it ain't the same players, but it makes the game that more interesting than it would be if they play these cupcake teams. People will come back and say, well, they make the schedule 4 years out, so they don't have no room to remove nobody. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And if the NCAA want to get it right, if they want to get it right, listen to what I'm telling you. Like Dana would say, they're always stealing. They stealing from us. At the end of the year, your top 4 teams leave 1 game open, right? And let's just say you do a round robin in SoFi Stadium next year. You have before football, NFL starts, you do a Monday night game and you do a Thursday night game. So now you got that Monday, that Thursday, you got that holiday weekend, then you got that Monday off. And I'm sorry. You play that Monday, then you play that Thursday. Then you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the top 2 teams play that Monday before the Thursday night game. Because Thursday is the start of the NBA NFL season. So that means you already played 4 games. Well, I'm sorry, you played 2 games. We played 3 games with 2 wins. All right. And just give them guys a bye right after that week so they can relax and get back to the regular schedule. But I'm just saying, Georgia, Michigan, Florida, Ohio State, I'm not really impressed with Ohio State either. Even though I think they played Maryland last weekend, and I really wasn't impressed because Maryland stayed in that game. If Tua's little brother could have made some connections or some passes, we might be talking about Ohio State being 4-1, not 5-0. To me, I'm more impressed with Florida State and out of all the top 10 teams. I'm sorry, I got to keep it real with you. I got to keep it real. Washington, we know is going to be decent. Oregon has a quarterback that's he's a super senior in Bo Nix. I don't even know why he's still I don't know why he's still playing NCAA football because he probably about 26 years old. I'm just joking. I'm just saying, if he went to college at 17 and he been playing, he played with 3 different teams. I think I know he was with Auburn at one point, and he left Auburn with somewhere else, and now he's with Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't even know if he sat out a year. And if he did sit out a year, that means that he's 22, 23. But to me, the top 10, the team that I'm really impressed with more than anybody else is Florida State because they came out of nowhere. Nobody thought Florida State was going to be this good, this fast, because Florida State had been not doing well in the ACC. But right now, Florida State is riding that wave 5-0. They taking over the ACC, and Oklahoma came through against Texas. Was Texas? Yeah, that was. And I don't really watch college football like that because there's so many games on that. I can barely sit down and watch Penn State play a whole game, right? But that game, Oklahoma against Texas, I watched that game and I was really impressed on how well they played. And I'm telling you right now, Oklahoma, they don't play no defense, but they're gonna score a whole lot of points. The Big 12, whatever they're in, nobody plays defense out there, but they can score a whole lot of points. Mega points. Looking at USC, they can score points but can't play no defense. And it's kind of weird is you got Lincoln Riley out there, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the coach they have out there at USC. You bring your offensive players, but you bring no defensive players. How does that happen? Why would that happen? Because you can't always outscore everybody. And USC has been in some close games this year. I'm going to just look at the schedule right now. This is what they're doing right now. Okay, San Jose State 56-28, Nevada 66-14, Stanford 56-10, Arizona State 42-28, Colorado 48-41 without their best player. Colorado without their best player, 48-41, had their opportunities. Arizona is not ranked, 43-41. They're going to play Notre Dame this weekend at Notre Dame. Yeah, it's going to be a loss. That should be the only loss until they come run, because that should be the only loss until they run up against they should be Utah, it should be Cal. Now the question mark is going to be Washington, Oregon. UCLA is 18th, but they're acquired 18th. You know what I'm saying? They're 4-1, 1-1 in the division. But I'm gonna say this right now: USC got the job. The job is in jeopardy as far as them playing for a national championship, and also for my man Williams to be still a contender for the Heisman Trophy. Now I'm gonna say this though: if he keep putting up crazy numbers like he's doing, he's gonna be fine, regardless if they lose or not. I mean, regardless if they win or not. Because if he's not the reason why they're losing, then you still can probably put him in the Heisman Trophy candidate race. But if he's the reason why they're losing, then he's gonna get knocked out of there. We already know he's probably not gonna go to NFL. Okay, because we'll talk about that when we look at the standings. Because a couple of teams out there that he said he only wants to play for, and I'm really surprised that there's no team. I'm surprised the Rams are not on his team on his list because he's from LA. He's out there. I mean, he's not from LA, but he plays at USC. I'm surprised he's not on that list. I'm surprised that who else was it I was thinking about? It was another team that came to mind. When I look at the standings, I'll say something to you. If you guys can remind me, or if somebody comes on and has a question about that. All right. So USC could have a loss. I think they're gonna lose against Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is better than 21. Okay. Utah is gonna be an up and down battle. California should handle them. Washington, Oregon, UCLA, that's where it's going to get tough. They got those back to back to back. And even though UCLA is ranked 18th, right? A soft 18th, you know it's a battle between UCLA and USC regardless. If they playing pinochle, they want to see blood. If they're playing checkers, they want to see blood, because that's just how good that rivalry is between USC and UCLA and USC. So USC don't have a cakewalk at all. They don't have a cakewalk to get to where they need to go. As far as them going to a national championship, I don't think they're there. I think the Heisman is Williams to lose. But there's a guy out in Oregon. I think Dana was telling me, Washington quarterback out there throwing up some crazy numbers too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the running as well for the Heisman. So we want to hopefully USC can get it together, get that defense on track. But you can't outscore everybody, and that's what they're doing right now. So that's the top 10 from 11 on down. You got Alabama, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Louisville, Oregon State, Utah, Duke, UCLA, Washington State, and at 20 you got Tennessee. Tennessee 4-1. They dropped hard, ladies and gentlemen. And Notre Dame, even though they lost 2 games, they dropped hard to 21. But Notre Dame's you got to watch them play. If you watch Notre Dame play, you don't see the desire for them guys to win for that coach they got. I love their coach. I really do. He's the only coach they had I liked. I'm telling you, to be honest with you. I'm not a big Notre Dame fan at all. None whatsoever. Hey, I'm jealous because they got their own TV station. Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're right. And then we got Dana's team, the Miami Hurricanes. They're 4-1. He said they're trash. They lost last week off of some crazy play. So there you have it for your college top 25. I know that I know Oregon and Washington. I think they play this week coming up. Yeah. So one of those teams going to get knocked out of there. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about who you guys think going to win the Oregon-Washington game. That game's on 3:30 on Saturday. I think I'm gonna try to watch that game Saturday. I should be done with the soccer game by then. Penn State plays UMass at 3:30, so Penn State should win that game, hands going down. Simple as that. And so that Oregon Washington game should be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Should be a good one. All right. Moving on to, let me see if I got any more college information I want to talk about before we move on. We talked about that Manford dude. The baseball just don't make any sense with me now whatsoever. I don't understand it. Why you treat me so bad, as they say. Why you treat me so bad. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little football, NFL football. So let's look at the standings real quick. All right, so you got the Dolphins 4-1 in first place. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Surprising Pittsburgh Steelers 3-2 in first place. Jacksonville 3-2. Indianapolis Colts 3-2 in first place. Kansas City Chiefs 5-1 first place. You got the Eagles 5-0 in first place. You got Detroit Lions 4-1 in first place. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-1 in first place. You got the San Francisco 49ers 5-0 in first place. Now I'm gonna say this. Y'all know, if you know me, I got 4 teams I cheer for every Sunday. And the running joke is I got a whole lot of football teams, but the people that say it don't even know what they're talking about. Because they hear the joke and then they want to bring in their joke in. Like the one dude at work, he said, he said, Dixon got 4 teams. I said, you like the New England Patriots, right? He said, yeah, who's the starting running back? I don't know. Shut up. Don't say nothing else to me. Leave me alone. You don't even know who the starting running back is. So you just want to be in the conversation. When it comes to sports, don't play with me. I said, go sit down. I go sit down. Somebody else the other day said I got 7 baseball teams, but I got 1 baseball team. But I cheer for anybody to beat the Yankees. That's the only team I do not like in baseball is the Yankees. Everybody else I can tolerate. I can tolerate the Braves. I can tolerate the Phillies. I can tolerate well, the Padres, they still ain't significant yet. You know, when they get significant again, I can't tolerate them. But I thought they were going to be a lot better this year than it was last year. But as we see, there's some dysfunction going on. But anyways, watching Baltimore gave that game away to Pittsburgh this weekend, and they know they did. They know they did, and I can't wait to see them play them again. I can't wait. I watched Philly play my Rams. I really wasn't impressed with the game. This Rams they're really, really young right now, and they do have some offensive line issues again. And once you have offensive line issues again, you know what happens with Matt Stafford. Then he gets hit and he gets hurt, and it's pretty much over for the season for them. There's a secret. I'm gonna give you guys just a little small secret that was told to me that could happen if the Rams are not in the playoff window by trade week. I think it is. If they're not in the playoff window by trade week, there might be a trade for Aaron Donald to come east. Well, not all the way east, but maybe mid. I guess you want to say, I don't think it's mid. Let's say east middle, maybe middle east. I don't know, one of them. But he's coming this way. He's coming this way from what I was told in the sources that told me. Basically said you can't tell nobody. I told you, but I'm just letting you know what's going on because you're a Rams fan, and I feel like you need to know because I will hear you talk about how you like Aaron Donald and things of that nature. I was like, yeah, I love Aaron Donald. You know what I said? He's from Pennsylvania. He played at Pitt. Good kid. Don't do nothing. Hear nothing bad about him. Married, got kids. He deserved the Super Bowl. He's been to one, lost that one, and came back and won the second one. So I'm really proud of Aaron Donald representing the state of Pennsylvania. But he could be on the move, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But the game of the week had to be the Cowboys versus the 49ers. Now, if you notice, I got my Michael Parsons jersey on, right? Because it's Penn State. It's homecoming for them. I'm represent the number 11, because homecoming for them. But Dallas Cowboys don't, Micah, look, man, I like you, dude. You're a good person. You're a good dude. You did great things here for us at Harrisburg, but I don't think y'all want to see 49ers again. I don't think it matters if you're in Dallas or not, because the 49er fans follow well, like the Cowboy fans follow well, like the Pittsburgh Steelers fans follow well, like the Oakland Raiders fans follow well. They follow well. But I think with the Cowboys issue is that they want Dak to be something he's not. Okay. And I'm probably gonna get some heat behind this, but I don't even care because it is what it is. And you can tell me about numbers, this, numbers, that, numbers, this, number, that, and then I'll say, okay, so numbers matter what if you don't win? Numbers only matter if you're trying to get in the Hall of Fame. If you're trying to get in the Football Hall of Fame, numbers matter. Does wins matter? No, because you got some guys. Dan Marino been in one Super Bowl, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Jim Kelly has lost 4 Super Bowls, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So winning doesn't matter that much when it's Hall of Fame because it's the individual accolades that get you there. But what I think happens here is that Dak Prescott got put in a great situation when Tony Romo got hurt. The offensive line was great. Got to the playoffs, they didn't win. Blame it on him being a rookie, blame it on the pressure of him being in the playoffs. You can blame him whatever you want to blame it on, but they didn't win, right? And then you had other scenarios that came along afterwards, that they haven't been to NFC Championship game, things of that nature. It is what it is. But again, Dak is a quarterback that was selected in the 4th round, right? Is there diamonds in the rough? Absolutely, there are diamonds in the rough. We've seen one in Tom Brady, picked in the 7th round. And look at my man out there in San Francisco, the last quarterback drafted in NFL, Mr. Irrelevant. What the 49ers did was went away from Trey Lance because they saw that he was not going to be the future for that team. And they went with the quarterback they have now. And so what they did do was they got their backup in Sam Darnold, who I don't like at all. I don't care too much for Sam Darnold as a football player. I just don't think he has the moxie to be in the NFL, to be a starting quarterback. As a backup, yeah, maybe. But as a starter, no, he showed his true colors when he went. And I remember USC playing Penn State, and he carved them up as a freshman. Then the next year he came back, and Ohio State played him, and Ohio State plays a pro-style defense, and they carved him up, right? And so that told me right there that I don't think he was a pro-style quarterback ready to go in NFL. And he's been with 2-3 different teams. Now he's with San Francisco, and he's a backup quarterback. Now I'm gonna say this though: what San Francisco has done is they have built their team around the quarterback. There's certain things that quarterback can't do. Right? But they got players in every position that can help them. They got a good tight end. They got a great running back. They got great wide receivers. They got a great offensive line. Their left tackle is doing an outstanding job. And the thing about this, I'm going to tell you how good San Francisco is. They lost a left tackle last year in the middle part of the season, and they didn't skip a beat. So that means they drafted well. Lynch has saved his job in San Francisco because they gave up a boatload of picks to get Trey Lance, who is no longer on that football team. No longer on that football team. But what is it that San Francisco has done that the Dallas Cowboys can't do for Dak Prescott? You got wide receivers. You got you are developing a tight end to be the next great tight end come along, because Dallas always have had great tight ends for as long as I can remember. Okay. Pallet, is he a every down back? No, not really. But that young dude they got back there, I think he can help. But again, if I'm Dallas, I'm kicking the tires on Derrick Henry. I'm kicking the tires on who else out there? It was another running back. My man from Jonathan Taylor, who's with the coach who now signed a contract. I'm just going out asking, what does it take for me to get one of those guys to come here, right? And if you think this is as your owner says, this is the year for us. If this is your year, why not go all in? We've seen the Buffalo Bills do it. Von Miller gets hurt, and that messes up their season last year. We're seeing the Rams do it. They go all in, and they win the Super Bowl because of it, right? So it does work for certain teams. It does work. It does work. And we have never seen what the Rams did last couple of years. We have never seen NFL teams do that. But they're paying for it now because they have no draft picks and they're younger. But, they knew this was coming. They knew the licks was going to come. But I think that if they could have outbidded the 49ers for the service of McCaffrey, that turns that team completely different around because McCaffrey does so much for San Francisco. He can play quarterback. He can play running back. He can play tight end. He can play wide receiver. He can be a punt returner and a kick returner. And I guarantee you, if you put him at place kicker, he probably can do that well. That's how McCaffrey is the Army Swiss knife. You know what I'm saying? He does everything. He does everything well. So by bringing him to San Francisco, that made it much easier for everybody else. Took a lot of pressure off of everybody else for him to be there. Then you have your wide receivers that are really good. You have a good offensive line, and now you have a quarterback. The only thing he got to do is manage the game, and he does a great job at managing the game. He does a great job of it. With the Dallas Cowboys, what we heard was Dak's not going to throw the ball as much because they score too fast and the defense gets tired. So McCarthy is taking over. But that performance against San Francisco last Sunday evening was not good for Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying I want to see the 49ers again. It's just some teams they got your number. Like San Francisco, we got the Rams number. Since Sean McVay's been there, the only time they beat him was in the playoffs to go Super Bowl. But during the season, they can't beat them. I wonder why. You know what I'm saying? It's always that one team that your team always has an issue with. And San Francisco was that team that Dallas Cowboys have an issue with. And if you go all the way back to Joe Montana in the catch against Dallas Cowboys, knocked them off their throne. But again, what's going on in two different organizations that you have a quarterback that was drafted last in the NFL that's going to the play that is right now is to me the front runner to be the MVP other than Tua at the quarterback position. What is the coaching that's going on in San Francisco that is not going on in Dallas? Okay? Because Dak he's a fourth-round draft pick. He's a fourth-round draft pick for a reason. But getting back to what I was saying, when Tony Romo got hurt, he was in a perfect situation because the offense was there. You had Zeke, you had another running back there, you had your wide receiver, you had Cooper there, you had it all, and they still couldn't win. And blame some on the coaching, blame some on the staff, but they've gotten better. Now losing the one cornerback hurt them tremendously, and now I think the linebacker is hurt as well. And the thing about it is, who was best at filling the slot for a player that got hurt? Other than the quarterback, Brian Belichick. Plug and play. They could plug and play. They could miss somebody, and just think about this. Belichick never had an all-pro wide receiver, never had an all-pro running back. None of that. None of those. They were just guys like Randy Moss. Probably was the most polarizing wide receiver that ever came through, that ever put on New England Patriots jersey. Darryl Stingley, all them other guys, all wide receiver they had was not as good as Randy Moss. Randy Moss, to me, was probably the best wide receiver that the New England Patriots have ever had in history. And that year, they couldn't get it done. They lost to the Giants, right? but he plug and play. He plugged and play. He put players in there and they play. You know, so now Dallas needs to learn how to do that. So we need to understand that one game don't make a season, but it damn sure makes an impression of how good you really are. It makes you go back, look in the mirror, and say, "Wow, 42-10." And then you had who was the one wide receiver said, "We took it easy on." Micah Parsons said, y'all don't want to see us again." Wide receiver came back and said, "We took it easy on y'all. We took it easy on y'all." So that means they took the foot off the gas at 42 points. At 42 points to the gas, they took the foot off the gas. To me, San Francisco is the best team in the NFL right now. I hate it. I hate to say that because I'm a Rams fan. But San Francisco is in my top. These are my top 5 right now. I'm gonna tell you my top 5. It was Miami until the defense stopped showing up, and they even struggled last weekend. I got San Francisco as 1. I'm going Detroit as 2. I'll give you Miami at 3. Eagles at 5, and Kansas City at 6. And I'm gonna say, Kansas City would probably be in the 5 range. I think it would be. But watching Kansas City the other night, they're like the little engine at the bottom of the hill, and they got grease on the track. And he gets that 1 inch, but he keeps on going. He gets that next inch, he keeps on going. That's where they look like they're at right now. This is week 6 coming up for Kansas City. Okay. Week 7, excuse me. And even though they're plus 59, they're not looking really that good, in my opinion. And I'm at the point right now where I don't even want to see Kansas City Chiefs on major TV no more because Taylor Swift ain't got nothing to do with football. I ain't got nothing. I don't know a Taylor Swift song in my world. You can say, you come and say, that's Taylor Swift. I said, oh, I didn't know that was her. And it could be a nice song. I'm not saying the chick can't sing. I'm not saying she can't dance. I don't even know if she R&B or she country. I don't know. I'm right now, I'm in the blues. That's what I'm in. I'm in the blues. I'm into some deep down home blues. That's what I'm talking about. PK Soul, them guys, all them guys. Theo's Rally, those my guys. Stand Up in It, that's my music right now. That's my music. I like the old the blues music. But I want to watch football. I don't want to watch Taylor Swift. I don't want to watch it no more. That's not entertaining. I want to watch football. If I want to go to a concert, I go see her, but I don't want to see her. But Kansas City, just that to me, Kansas City and Kansas City and the Eagles are just look like they're going through the motions right now. Like they can turn it on, turn it off. And with Kansas City, Travis Kelce got an ankle problem. He played last night, but you notice when one guy tackled him on the ankle, he got up limping. So that's the injury is more serious than what they're saying it is. I think the Eagles are they're just buying their time right now. Because if you let me look at the Eagles schedule real quick. They're 5-0. They're the best 5-0 team. I think they're better than Kansas City right now. So they beat the Patriots 25-20, which was a struggle. They beat the Vikings 34-28, which is a close game. Buccaneers 25-11 was a boring game. Washington, the Commanders 34-31 was a tough game. The Rams 23-14. I really wasn't impressed in that game. So now they play at the Jets and the Dolphins. That's going to be the game we're going to want to watch. The Dolphins and the Eagles. That's going to be a game. I think the Eagles defense is better than Dolphins offense. I mean, better than Dolphins defense. So the Eagles should win that game. But you never know if the Dolphins got a 440 relay team on that team, the wide receiver spot. So that should be the game of the week coming up in 2 weeks. So, but if I look at it from my perspective, the teams is undefeated. San Francisco was the best 5-0 team. Then I would say the Eagles are the second best 5-0 team. because they're the only two teams that's undefeated. Everybody else is not. But San Francisco is more of a commanding 5-0. Where the Eagles seem like they're just biding their time or something like that. Like they're just like, okay, we got this team to play this weekend. We got that team to play this weekend. We got this team, we'll get up when we got to get up. So we're gonna find out if they're gonna get up. We're gonna find out how much they're gonna get up when they got to play the Dolphins coming up. Let me see here else, and so let's talk about the Jets for a little bit, right? Everybody was talking about the Jets should go and get what's the guy? Kirk Cousins. Okay. I'm gonna say this right now. Kirk Cousins is not going to Buffalo for the simple fact that Kirk Cousins got no trade clause. Yo, even though he was the first quarterback to get guaranteed money for a 3-year contract, I'm gonna say that because somebody said, well, it's only 3 years. I don't care for 3 years or not. To me, he was the best quarterback out there in that field. When you had Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson doing their thing during that time period, they should have been the first to get a guaranteed contract for real, in my honest opinion. But Kirk was smart. So now he got a no trade clause. So they gotta ask him when he wants to be traded to. And it just ain't the place to go. So how do the Jets fix this ship? I'll tell you what, this weekend, we're gonna see how I want to say that Zach, they play the Eagles. That's not going. Oh, they play the Eagles. That's gonna be a test for Zach. If Zach throw a couple interceptions, I think it might be over for him. If he overthrows a guy, if the ball gets tipped, that's a different story. But if he throw it right to the dude, this gonna be an issue. If he overthrows a guy in a defensive cornerback or safety, gets the ball before the wide receiver, I'll kind of blame it on the wide receiver unless he really outthrows him. But they're gonna stick it out with Zach. You know what I'm saying? And they said that Aaron Rodgers is he has to do his rehab and he wants to come back bigger, faster, stronger. But I'm gonna say this: other than Adrian Peterson, I have never seen nobody come back from injuries being better than what they were before. I don't know what's in his DNA. He need to bottle that thing up and sell it because he's the only guy I've ever seen come back off of injuries and look like he's never missed a beat. I don't know about Aaron Rodgers coming back and being better than what he is right now than he was before because of his age. And as you get older, it's harder to get your body to do things that you want to. Your mind say, oh, I can do this. I can do this. Your body say, yo, Holmes, check this out. You need to relax. My body, we just can't run 5 miles no more. Let's try 3.5. Let's try 3.5, and you walk the other half, the other 2.5 miles. You can run 3.5, but you can walk the other mile, a mile and a half, whatever the case may be. Because as you get older, your body starts to deteriorate down, and it makes it harder for you to work out. Even though you want to stay in shape, like I want to stay in shape, but man, I had so many ailments from being in the military: bad knees, bad back, mild case of emphysema. You know what I'm saying? Those things deter me from even trying to work out. But I'm going. What the secret to what I'm going to do is I like to sit in the sauna and sweat to get that sweat on. But what I'm going to start doing is I'm gonna make time for me to go to the gym and work out in water. Water is less resistant, and you can still get a workout in water. I can't swim no more because my knees are that bad, but I can still do some workouts in the water. So that's gonna be my that's gonna be my goal, my New Year's resolution to do that. Hopefully I do it prior to that, but that's gonna be my New Year's resolution to do that. But it's gonna be really hard for Aaron Rodgers to come back and perform at a high level. They still gonna have the players they had. They'll probably even get better at the offensive line because I know there was thoughts about bringing in the tackle from Green Bay, who now has gotten hurt. So we'll see what goes on with the Jets. But Zach has the opportunity to show the coaching staff, the world, and the other Jet fans and other Jets players that he can right the ship for a little while until Aaron. Excuse me, God, until Aaron gets back and gets back in motion. Buffalo Bills and Jacksonville Jaguars played overseas last week. Buffalo got some serious injuries to the linebacker and the cornerback. Now, what I'm hearing or what I'm reading now is that the field they play on is like playing on cement, rubber cement. So I'm gonna say this to the commissioner: if you're gonna send our football players over there and they're gonna play over there, you give them make sure they have the best field possible they can play on, because it's not fair for them to go over there and get hurt on that kind of stuff over there and then have to come back here and rehab, and now you messed up the chance of teams going to Super Bowls and things of that nature. That's not fair to that team. Jake, whatever they play on here, they need to play on over there. If you make it grass, then make it grass. If it's AstroTurf, make it good AstroTurf that they play on here with. Don't give it that rubber cement that they had in St. Louis, where Marshall Faulk kept begging them to change it because of his knee, having bad knees. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Commissioner, get that fixed for us, please. The coach, they're in a problem with the quarterback. Richardson, he might be out for a while. Cleveland Browns also same thing with Deshaun Watson. They say they may have dislocated something in the shoulder. They're saying maybe 2 to 6 weeks. Yo, my man, I didn't envision this for the Browns. I really didn't. First Chubb, now you. I don't want my season to be over in week 7. You play the 49ers this weekend. Lord have mercy. Ooh-wee. That's going to be something else. Unless we got some secret weapons that we don't know about. And good thing it is in Cleveland. And the weather is supposed to be rainy all this weekend. So that may help us a little bit, maybe. But I don't know. I don't see the Browns coming out of that one on with the V. But if they do, I'll be happy for them. So that's pretty much about football. We at 9-12. Okay. So now you know that the NBA is right around the corner. And I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna leave it there. And I hope somebody comment on it, or I hope somebody want to talk about it down the road. With Wemby, I think my man out in Portland gonna get Rookie of the Year. I'm gonna say that. I think they're gonna win some games with the nucleus they got out there now, with the addition of Brogdon and Robert Williams, and whatever they got from Milwaukee. I think that team's going to be really good going forward. I don't know about Wemby. I think Wemby is going to be really good. I think we're looking at him and Chet is the up and coming superstars for the NBA if they can stay healthy. I'm looking forward to seeing those games with those guys being played. So we're gonna see how well that goes. Preseason is almost over with. I think there's a game tonight. A couple of teams playing tonight. Let me look real quick on one of the. Let's see what I'm looking at. NBA. It's good. Okay, so you got Miami at Golden State right now. That's Miami 75, San Antonio 77. You got Golden State and LA tonight, preseason games going on. And talking about the NBA, the ESPN they are the worst. I don't know who's worse, ESPN or USA Today. Their analysts are the worst when it comes to predicting anything that's supposed to possibly be close to winning something and not winning nothing at all. Now, they did the top 100 players. I'm okay with what they're saying about where's it at? Where's the okay, here it is. No, that's not it. Where's that? And I lost the article ranking. Okay, it is. This is what they got from 10 on down. And some of I can question, some of I can't. They got Anthony Davis number 10. I think he need to play more games to be in the top 10. LeBron at number 9 need to play more games at number 9, in my opinion. Shane Gilgeous-Alexander on point with number 8. Kevin Durant, number 7. I like Kevin Durant there. Jason Tatum, number 6. I'm okay with that. Steph Curry, number 5. I'm okay with that. Luka at number 4. I'm not okay with that. Luka's good, but he's not that good. At number 4, no, I don't think he's better than Kevin Durant. I don't think he's better than Kevin Durant. Joel Embiid, number 3. Yeah, and no. I wouldn't be upset with Joel Embiid being 3, 2, or 1, right? Because he's a reigning MVP of the league, so he got to be within. He should be 1 or 2, in my personal opinion. That's just my personal. Number 2 is Nikola Jokic, who's number 2. I don't understand how he is number 2. He just won an NBA championship, right? And they have Giannis number 1. Giannis can't shoot free throws. That's my ESPN. This is a bunch of. They put this. This is in cyberspace, ladies and gentlemen, and it got all. It's taking up all the space for everything else that's more important than this junk right here. ESPN is so way off with this list. It's incredible. I'm not trying to figure out how Dame is not in the top 10. It's beyond me. I don't understand it. But to make Giannis number 1, I don't see how. It says why his ranking was unchanged. It says Giannis joined Wilt Chamberlain as only player in the NBA history to average 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists while shooting 50% from the floor, carrying the Bucks to the best record in NBA in 2022-23. Milwaukee postseason could have gone much differently, as Giannis not suffered a back injury and sidelining him for Game 1 and also Game 2 and 3 in the Bucks' first round loss to Heat. Giannis retains his number 1 spot, topping Joker by one of the slimmest margins in NBA history. So, this is the part that gets me. You judge him by Wilt Chamberlain, which people say only had 8 teams, so they can't be in the greatest of anything because they only had 8 teams. And then you had JJ Redick said they played against plumbers, firefighters, and police officers when they played. It's just amazing how you now you want to bring numbers in this, but he didn't play against nobody. So how are you going to compare him? How are you going to say about his numbers compare against Wilt Chamberlain? And that's why he didn't do anything. I mean, he didn't move. And you had your boy Joker, who won an NBA title. They had the best record in the West. And he gets number 2. And to be honest with you, Joel Embiid should be number 2. And I put Giannis at 3. But there's no way that Giannis should be in front of Joker, who won a title. To me, that's disrespectful. That's very disrespectful for ESPN to do that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about this. But you know what else though? If you look at this list, what do all 3 players have in common that's on the top list? If Dana was here, he would know. He would know the answer to that. He would know the answer to that. They're all international players. So Dana, like I'm saying to you, bro, the international players are taking over. Number 4, Luka Doncic, the international player. Steph Curry's American. Jason's American. Kevin Durant's American. Shane Gilgeous-Alexander. He might be Canadian, I think. I'm not sure where he's from. Let me just look at him as bio. Look at his bio. What I say? He's Canadian. He's from Toronto. He's Ontario, Toronto, Canada. Right. So he's another one that's international player. Dana. I know Dana ain't here to hear this, but I'm just letting Dana know. He gets mad at me about this. So you got 5 out of the top 10 that's international players, and out of the top 10, you have 3 that have been the MVP recipient. Giannis twice, Joker twice, Embiid once. But the international players ain't taking the NBA. Come on with it. Come on with it. I'm telling you right now, it's a new day in the NBA, man. It's a new day in the NBA. And so again, I'm not gonna be with you long. I'll let you guys go. But again, well, no, I'm not. I forgot about this paperwork I had in front of me. I forgot. I'm not gonna do nothing about the football thing no more. I'm gonna leave football alone. But I gotta take a minute to talk about James Harden. Report says Clippers offer more in a trade for one player than they did for James Harden. Ladies and gentlemen, the Clippers were trying to get Drew Holiday, and it wasn't enough. I'm gonna read the article to you. Oh, how everything comes out now. If they were so
This call may be recorded or transcribed.
If they was in love with James Harden so much, why did they go all in on him? Why did they wait so long? Why didn't they go all in on James Harden like they did with Drew Holiday, and Drew Holiday ended up going somewhere else? So this is what it says. Los Angeles Clippers are said to be the top team for James Harden trade wish list, but it does not sound like that. Like they view the former MVP as a true game changer. During Thursday edition of NBA Today, the ESPN Andre Woj reported Clippers were much more aggressive in trying to acquire Drew Holiday from the Portland Trailblazers than they had been with the pursuit of James Harden. They wanted to get Holiday, and they offered more than they were willing to do for Harden. So there are tiers of this, Woj said. Woj added the Clippers are willing to give more for Harden. Excuse me. Woj added that the Clippers are willing to give up more for Harden than they had offered for Malcolm Brogdon. However, Holiday was traded to the Boston Celtics, and Brogdon and Robert Williams and 2 first-round draft picks. The market for Harden is a bit different, of course, as he has demanded a trade and said no intentions of playing for the Philadelphia 76ers again. Again, ladies and gentlemen, not playing for them again. That typically lowers the trade value of a player as a rival team offers prefer to wait the situation out. The Sixers have reportedly attached a high asking price for Harden. In discussions they had with the Clippers, if LA view Holiday as a better addition than Harden, it seems unlikely that they're going to meet what asking price anytime soon. So, Harden, strap up, brother. Strap up and get ready to play for the 76ers. Here's another article we got going on. I think somebody's trying to call in. I don't know what's going on. I keep hearing the noise. Philadelphia, let me see what it says. James Harden had been taking part in training camp with the 76ers, but it does not sound like the relationship between him and the team has been repaired in any way. Harden spoke with reporters on Friday about where things stand in the wake of his trade request. When asked if there's anything that can be done to resolve the issue between him and the 76ers president of operations, Daryl Morey, Harden bluntly said no. The former MVP then compared the situation to losing trust in the marriage. Perhaps just a noteworthy, Harden said he will continue to show up to work and that his plan is to play basketball. I can control what I control, Harden said. I'll take it one day at a time and focus on every day is a new day. But my plan is to play basketball, yes, for sure. Harden also told reporters that he intended to retire with the 76ers when they acquired him in a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. Those feelings have now mutually been torn. When I got traded here, my whole thing was I wanted to retire as a Sixer. I wanted to be here and retire as Sixer, Harden said. The front office didn't have that in their plans. You know what I mean? It's really out of my control. It's something I didn't want to happen to be in this position, but I gotta make a decision for my family. This is a business. It's just simply that. Harden told NFL officials that he called Morey a liar because Morey promised to trade him quickly and he did not follow through. That has always been hard to believe. Harden opted out of a $47 million player option last season and signed a 2-year deal with the Sixers. He took what amount to a $15 million pay cut when you consider that he would have gotten a max contract. One theory was that Morey assured Harden last year that he would be rewarded for his selflessness. The max contract 12 months down the road. Morey may have then changed his mind when Harden's play slipped last season. Whatever the case, Harden still wants out of Philly, he said, to have his eye open on a landing spot, but it may be a while before he's moved. Want more great stories? Subscribe for free newspaper, whatever. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the deal. So, Philadelphia got hit with tampering for PJ Tucker, okay? And they lost some draft picks behind that. So there was rumors that Daryl Morey had already talked to James Harden about giving him a new contract, right? Give him that extra money that he missed to allow PJ Tucker to come and a couple other players to come to Sixers. So James Harden was like, yo, why haven't we talked about my contract? He said, I can't talk to you about your contract until the end of the season. Let's back off of this because we've already lost draft picks behind the tampering with PJ Tucker. I don't want us to lose any more draft picks, so let's pick this up at the end of the season. So going back when this conversation was going on, Daryl Morey, I would bet your paycheck on it. That Daryl Morey said to me, hey, man, take a pay cut. We're going to take care of you next year money-wise. If you don't want to be here, we'll pay you. We'll do a sign and trade. You go wherever you want to go, and we'll get it done. Okay? Sixers were 4 games out of first place. It was four games difference between Milwaukee, Boston, and Philly. At the end of the season, the Sixers had opportunities to beat the Celtics in game 6, and game 7, and they blew both games. James Harden didn't come to play at the end of game 6. He definitely didn't come to play in game 7. At that point in time, do you think James Harden had gave up on the team before the third quarter ended? Because the way he was playing, and Sam Cassell quote said, he told Doc Rivers just pull him because he's not giving no full effort, and he pulled him, right? He hadn't scored any points in the third quarter at all. But my thing is this right here: if this is how you play, why do you think you need why should you get a max contract? And I'm not in his pocket at all. I'm not counting that man's ducats at all. But I'm saying the proof is in the pudding. And why would the Clippers want you now after seeing how you play in the playoffs when the games matter more than a game during the season? I'm a little bit confused on what James Harden wants. Was it the money or did you want to get traded? What was going on in Philadelphia that you wanted out of there so bad? You got Doc Rivers fired, which was unjustly. That in my opinion, Doc should never got fired. He threw Doc underneath the bus. But I told my friends that were Sixers fans, I said, yo, if James Harden goes to the Sixers, Doc will be fired within 2 years. And what happened? Doc got fired, right? Because Doc's not the coach for James Harden. James Harden did not want to comply with how the team was being ran with the players that Doc had. We all know that Maxey should be the number 2 person to score on that team. Should be Joel Embiid, Maxey, then Harden, maybe. And if you can put in, you can throw Tobias Harrison as the third scorer, right? You seen what James Harden did in game 1 against the Boston Celtics. He scored 41 points by himself to win that game in Boston. So he still had it in him to ball out. But did he ball out because Joel Embiid didn't play? Because once Joel Embiid played, we didn't see that James Harden no more. Even though James Harden hit the game shot in game 5 and Jaylen Brown didn't close out like he's supposed to close out, he should have never left him alone in the corner. And we wouldn't probably have this conversation right now. We'd probably having the conversation that the Boston Celtics beat them at 6 instead of playing them at 7. But that's a different story for a different day, right? But this is my thing. You can make that team better. Just do what you do. You let the league in assists, okay? Take on the role of being the 3rd or 4th scorer, man. You're up in the age. You can't do what you did before. You can still get paid and still be a contributor for the 76ers. You're going to leave the Sixers high and dry because Sixers are not going to get what they want for you from the Clippers because there's nobody on the Clippers they actually want. Because if they wanted somebody on the Clippers, it'd have been done by now. Let's go look at the Clippers. Let's just take a look at the Clippers team and see who they got on that team that can help the Sixers, can help the 76ers leapfrog Milwaukee and Boston. I don't consider Miami in nothing right now, and they got to prove to me that they got to prove to me that they can still win it with the roster they have right now. But I'm looking for Clippers. The Clippers. Where the Clippers at? Clippers. Los Angeles Clippers. Roster. And if I'm the Sixers, I'm looking at they want to give me Robert Covington, Terry Mann, Norman Powell, and throw in Marquise Morris just for its and giggles, right? Because they're probably going to release Marcus Morris, right? He's 34 years old. He'll be playing at home, though. He's from that area, so he's going to get followers to come there and play. But they might even release him, right? They're not going to give up Kenyon Martin Jr. That dude's he's young, but he's athletic. He could be a player. But what do they have that the Sixers want? Absolutely nothing. And so now you're going to have to add another team into that trade. And if James Harden would have been quiet about this, I think he'd have been moved by now. I think there'd been a third team that came in there and said, okay, I'll help you guys out. Give me this, give me that, give me that. And he can go where you want to go, and you can go where you want to go and give me what I want, and I'm cool. Right? But James Harden is he was in the same boat as Damian Lillard. I'm so sick and tired. Excuse me. I'm so sick and tired of NBA players telling teams where they want to go play with, who they want to go play with. Yo, Kevin Durant Kevin Durant went to Phoenix and they said basically the conversation with them was, okay, Kev, I understand James Harden's gone. Understand that Kyrie done burned some bridges. Yo, so we're not going to win. So what we'll do, since you've been quiet and you kept on your head where you want to go, that you want to be traded, okay, where you want to go? We're going to try to make it happen, right? It goes to Phoenix. Bradley Beal, no trade clause. Tells him, I want to go to Phoenix. No trade clause. That means he can tell you where he wants to go, right? You just got to figure it out. Where's he at in Phoenix? Damian Lillard, if he doesn't say one word about going to Miami, I guarantee you he's in Miami. James Harden doesn't say anything about the Clippers. He's in California. He's playing with the Clippers. This telling these NBA players, telling organizations where they want to go play because they don't want to play for this team no more. Them days is over with. I'm telling you right now. Those days are over with. There's going to be trades that are going to be made. And the conversations may be after the trade is done. This is where he preferred to go. Like Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday didn't say publicly, man, I want to go play for the Boston Celtics. Behind closed doors, he said to Portland, look, if you don't need me here, if you can find a way to get me to Boston, I would appreciate it. They got on the phone to Boston and said, Boston, look, Drew Holiday wants to come there. We ain't trying to wreck you over the coals. What can you give us for him? And they're like, oh, okay, we'll take that. They gave them more than what Portland. I mean, they gave more than what the Clippers wanted, right? Because there's nobody on the Clippers team. Nobody wants nobody on the Clippers. Nobody wants them. Because if that was the case, Harden would be there now. It's hard. Just stay humble in your skin and let the system work for you. The only time the system really didn't work for somebody was, and even with Anthony Davis coming out saying, if I go to Boston, I'm not gonna like it there because of how they did Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was not an all-star, a superstar. And Anthony Davis, you're supposed to be a superstar. And your dad said you can't come to Boston. I'm kind of glad you didn't come to Boston, to be honest with you. I really am, because look what we gave up. Jaylen Brown would probably be one of them guys that's not on the team no more. And in history, from after being traded, you've been hurt. So we probably wouldn't have been contenders anyway. So it all worked out for the best. But again, that situation was tainted too because the Lakers ended up getting a draft pick that should have been the New York Knicks for my man in New Orleans, Williamson, who's down there now saying he just want to win because now he got to prove to the whole NBA that he can still play basketball. And then if he can play basketball at a higher level, then he can go back and say, all right, trade me to New York because that's where I want to go. But that's how that whole thing happened, was when them balls start bouncing around in that little jar or whatever it was, and the Lakers get that draft pick. They use that draft pick with David, and they sent it to the Clippers. I mean, they sent it to Portland. I mean, to the Pelicans. That's how he ends up in there, because that should not have happened. Man, come on. If you know anything about sports, you know that shit was fixed. Excuse my French, but it's after 10 o'clock tonight, so I can say a couple of 4 words. But we know that was fixed. You know what I'm saying? And now the NBA is cracking down on players saying where they want to go, demanding to be traded to certain teams, because now they want to create these super teams again. It ain't happening no more. Because what you're doing is leaving the rest of the NBA, the rest of the teams out there high and dry. Figured it out, Philadelphia, how to get it done. And the thing about it is, you never should have brought James Harden in the first doggone place. You know, you set that team back, and Embiid, health-wise, doesn't have a lot of time in NBA because he's a big dude that carries a lot of weight. And we know when you're that big and you're agile, first thing goes is your knees, right? So now Embiid just wasted a year with James Harden. This year right here, I don't know who they're gonna bring in that's gonna help him out if they trade him. They're not gonna be barn beaters. They're not gonna be better than Boston. They're not gonna be better than Milwaukee or New York or even Cleveland, because New York, I think, is gonna be a sleeper team coming out this way, out the East. I'm telling you right now, watch out for New York. But the thing about it is, I feel sorry for Embiid because Embiid wants to stay in Philly. And what's going to happen with Embiid? He's going to leave Philly. And Philly's going to start that tanking thing again, or try to do that tanking thing again, to get players to come there and play. That's going to, draft players in there to be a great team. They're not good at San Antonio with that. San Antonio San Antonio has mastered the tanking situation. David, they got Tim Duncan, and now they got Wemby. And I think that's a good spot for him. He's a good coach for him. He can help him mature and understand the game of basketball. Pocket's probably one of the best coaches the NBA ever had, is developing players. But the thing about Wemby is this right here. Will San Antonio be too small for him when he gets bigger? When he becomes larger than life in the NBA, is that the place that he gonna want to stay and win? Because the West is getting better. You know what I'm saying? Is there going to be there's going to be some all-stars, some all-stars, or some good players to come to San Antonio as free agent and want to play with the young guy? We don't know. We don't know how that is. Because Pac is a hard coach to deal with because he teaches the fundamental of basketball very, very well. His cerebral is just off the charts, right? But I still would like to know why him and Kawhi Leonard didn't get along at all. And the thing about it is, they traded for Kawhi Leonard. They traded because they wanted him. They wanted Kawhi Leonard in that black and silver. They wanted him in San Antonio, but for some reason, he didn't want to stay there. And eventually, it'll come out. That's his laugh. Eventually, it'll come out. But again, I feel sorry for Embiid, because now he got to tolerate this monkey stuff, the shenanigans that James Harden bringing to the table. James Harden in preseason is pretty much over with, and now more likely James Harden doesn't get traded during the season, because that's going to be harder to adjust, because you're taking one player, you're going to trade one player for multiple players. So now you got these multiple players that come in, understand the system, and during the season you don't practice a lot. Only time you really get to practice, actually, for real, if you want to be technical about it, is the All-Star break. And that's when everybody's supposed to be on vacation. Or when you make the playoffs, then you're off for a certain amount of days, and then you can implement some game plans in for certain players you bring in there. But again, I don't like the Sixers. Never liked the Sixers, never will like the Sixers, but I respect them. And the way that organization is being ran right now is not good. And I feel sorry for Embiid because I'm telling you what's going to happen. Embiid is going to leave. He's going to leave. He's going to leave Philadelphia, and he's going I-95. He's going to go through all the toll booths. Every toll booth on the I-95, he's taking them straight to Miami. Straight to Miami. I'm telling you right now, if you think I'm lying, you'll see. That's where he's going to go. That's his preferred. That would be his preferred destination because him and Jimmy Butler got along when he was in Philly. But again, I don't know how Philly gonna fix this. I don't know what other team's gonna fall in line to get this trade done. But James Harden, your performance in the NBA playoffs says it all for me. Until you can show me something different. Now, if you come back during the season and you can throw up some triple doubles and you got me winning some games and you still want to get out of there, okay, we'll move mountains and we'll move mountains. We'll build tunnels. We'll build bridges. We'll shove mud. We'll move wood. We'll do whatever we got to do to get you out of here because now you've proven to us that you want to play. And your commodity has went from here to here. Oh, that's an old James Harden that we see now? Oh, and if you go to Clippers, he ain't got to do all of that because you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard, unless they sitting down. But we already know the sitting down thing is becoming, you got to play 65 games to be in any award for anything. And even though this guy's got contracts, they trying to get another contract. Like Kawhi Leonard wants another contract after this one, right? So trust and believe me, in the contract, gonna be like, yo, you gotta play at least 65 games a season in order for you to get this money. And if you want to get all NBA, you gotta play 65. You gotta play 65. Kawhi don't like it, but it is what it is because it's not fair to the fans for you to sit your behind down. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You're prima donnas. That's all you are. Prima donnas. Making all this money and don't want to play a game of basketball. The people that paved the way for you guys to play basketball and sitting back shaking their head talking about, what are you talking about? You're telling me I only played against 8 teams and we're not that good. We wasn't that great. But you compare your numbers to our numbers. You compare your championships to our championships. But we played all 82 games. We played with neck braces on, Joe Henderson. We played with concussions. The point guard for the Houston Rockets, can't think of the name now. Concussions. Neck braces on. You will never see that again in NBA because they solved. Yeah, I said it. They all solved. I still love the game of basketball, but they solved. But anyways, that's another story for a different day. But again, Philly fans, I feel for you. I hope that this thing works out for you with James Harden. I love Maxey. He reminds me of Andrew Toney 2.0. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That kid can get up the floor and he can shoot the rock. He's gonna be fun to watch this year. I hope Embiid can stay healthy, and make another run at this thing for the MVP because he did a hell of a job this year with his numbers. I'll tell you that right now. That third person, I don't know if Tobias can step up and be that third person like he should be. If he can, then you'll be fine. Go ahead and trade James Harden and get the pieces that you need. Because if you got your 3 scores in Tobias, Maxey, and Embiid, then you're good. You got fine role players that can step in and do what they gotta do. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. For the show. Didn't get no callers in, that's fine. I did my 2 hours. I'm 15 minutes short of 2 hours, but that's okay. I think I did a good job tonight by myself. I gotta find my music now because I don't know what happened to it. Oh man, I'm going to lay somebody out by my music. That's crazy. So, with that being said, I want to wish everybody a good weekend, a good Friday night. Enjoy your weekend with your family. Again, keep the Gale family in prayer. Keep the Cobb family in prayer. Keep the Hill family in prayer. Keep Keep Dana Clark's family in prayer as well. Oh, Mo has bronchitis. That's why he can't come on tonight. Everybody getting sick. This weather is crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? This that weather. It went from hot to cold. Now go back to hot. Then it's cold. And man, look, I don't even know how to dress no more. You know, I'm what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just walk outside and see what the air feel like, and then I'm gonna go back in the house and dress. I'm gonna have on my t-shirt and underwear and some socks and shoes on just to feel what it feel like outside, and I'm gonna go back in the house and adjust to the weather. Because if I dress like I want to dress, I may be too warm or I may be too cold when I go outside. Simple as that. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thank you guys for hanging in with me. Thank you guys for checking me out on the YouTube channel, or if you watch me on Facebook. So let me see if I can find my music that I play every night. Somebody took my music off of here. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. Hey everybody, I want to. That's not what I want. What up, everybody? That's not what I want. That's not what I want. This is what I want. Hello, everybody. This is K Dix. You're right. K Dix. Man, what is going on? Why is... Hey everybody, man, somebody moved. Somebody took the... Let me see if I can find this stuff real quick, please. Oh, man. See if this is it.
Here, I know you're gonna dig this.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Just Us Sports Talk. You have been entertained in the sports world by K Dix from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with a large heart. Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. G-Dub from Austin, Texas. Murray E. Baskerville from Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC, where you can find the best in sports talk television and radio shows. Mondays, check out the Just Us Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your hosts, Kevin L. Dixon and Dana Clark. Then Tuesday, we have the Stars Talking Cowboys Sports Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern with your hosts, Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. And on Wednesday, tune in for the Out the Block Sports Talk Show from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with hosts Robert Lewis, Donna Hainsworth, and Brett Shields. Then meet up with us on Saturday for the Enhanced Sports Talk Show from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern with hosts Lou Tenor and Steve Davidson. We also had the DMV Sports Talk Show from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern with your host Razul McGee. As well, we have the Shamrock Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern with Igor Mitic and Andy Vernon. Finally, rounding out the week, we have on Sunday, That's Not How We See It Sports Talk Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern with your hosts, Alfred Wallace, Tony Wallace, and Harold Robinson III. These shows come to you by way of the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hey everybody, I want to thank everybody for listening in to In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network on my way of Justice Talk Show. This is your host, K Dix. This is your host, K Dix from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Again, we want to thank you for listening in. I want to thank my co-hosts. I want to thank Dana the hater. G-Dub. Mo got to be more careful. And Pretty Ricky known as standing by for me tonight. Hey, we always have a lot of fun. I mean, you know, what else can you talk about sports with your own opinion? And nobody can change your opinion. And you know, again, like I said, right? And Bryce, one of the co-hosts, me, myself. Let see what we can do if you also we are looking for a young lady. Come on, do what we do. You know, we ain't new to this, we're true to this. Again, we do those stones, we do live in glass. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a good and blessed night. Hey, tonight, and guess what? Sports is on every day. Come September, you're going to see football, you're going to see some baseball, some basketball, some soccer, some hockey, some golf. So just get ready, because September. All right, holler back at you guys. Be safe. God bless. And we're out here. And be safe. Big time players make big time plays and big time games. Stay ready to be ready. Peace.